The original trilogy, it ended with nuclear war. And that was an alternate reality at that point. So a lot of people have been asking why reimagine Modern Warfare? And we just really wanted creative freedom to kind of, take the story to new places. So, and it was really important to us to make especially even me, we lost lights and I'm all dark.
Come back.
It's all spooky now. That's cool.
Spooky.
All right, we'll just get spooky.
We're doing a setting.
Actually,
Where's
we're
your
going.
cigar?
We're going
This
in the
really
dark.
sets the mood.
Yeah.
We're gonna go night vision. I'm gonna bring the lights up a little. There we go. It was really important to actually raise the stakes in the game, and even me coming back to the studio, I was on the original Modern Warfare games, and it was important to come back and kind of make it more realistic, more relatable. Something, it's set in today's time now. So there's a lot to go there.
So what does that mean for, first of all, our main character to be set in the current time?
Okay, so we did bring, there are a few faces we're bringing back out. I would almost look at this in the way of, Daniel Craig to Casino Royale. We've got Barry Sloan to Modern Warfare. This is I was actually given the assignment to work on Captain Price in Modern Warfare 1. And back then we had a voice actor. It was Billy Murray, in fact, did a great job. But back then we actually would just assign a voice actor and we would build a character. And it was a fictional character, almost conceptualized and all this other stuff. This time, we actually went and we got Barry Sloan to be Captain Price. And it's a head-to-toe performance capture. He's actually gone through Navy SEAL BUDS, a version of it, which is more than I could probably survive. And he
what
told
does that
me all about
entail?
it.
Like rough summary.
He went down to Coronado and he trained with the SEAL teams where they go through. Navy SEALs start with selection down in Coronado and they go through, I'm going to mess this up, but I think it's basic underwater dive. I don't know. I'm probably messing it up, and my consultants.
It's not for us. It's for
consultants
tougher
are going to
people.
kick my ass later for messing it up.
Yeah.
But basically, Barry went through this, and he survived it. And it's basically they beat you up on the beach, they sleep deprive you, they fire machine guns over your head. I mean, they do all kinds
This
of
guy's
stuff.
not coming back to work on their games anymore.
He did that in his career as an actor. He was on a show called Six on the History Channel. So, what was fantastic about Barry is he brings this experience to the character. He knows how to handle himself when he's doing all these performances, these tactical situations. He just looks legit. He holds everything perfectly. He holds himself great. And then on top of that, it was really important to him to actually look back and pay homage to Billy Murray's performance. So he really studied Captain Price, the history of him. And in fact, I think this is maybe, if we're talking about reimagining, this is maybe the second time that Price has been reimagined. He goes all the way back to World War II. Like, he just kind of keeps making his way back into the series. So
well, it's interesting that you say that. I mean, I've played since the very first one on PC, so I've always enjoyed Call of Duty. With you reimagining the game now, with respect to gameplay, what could returning players or even new players expect to find in the game?
Yeah, I think I was a big fan of Call of Duty 1. That's what got me I moved my entire family down to Los Angeles. I saw that game and I'm like, we gotta go, I have to work on that. I need to find a way to work at Infinity Ward and be a part of that. I started on Call of Duty 2, and if you remember back on gameplay on Call of Duty 1, we had a lean mechanic. And so one of the things that we've actually been able to introduce into Modern Warfare is a mounting mechanic. And there's two ways you can use it. You can use it on vertical. You can use it on vertical and you can do a horizontal. But what it does is it helps you go into these really tight tactical situations. We're doing more one-to-one environments now. So when you go into a space, you want to be able to kind of move, kind of slice the pie a little tighter on the edge. And it helps you corner better to kind of feel or like look at a room a little better.
So you're giving us kind of in a sense of spaces that we normally encounter in these games over the years. There are a lot of wide open, a lot of house to house or across the town, and you're giving us a lot more. You're saying tight spaces here. Are we going to be maybe crawling around and climbing over stuff and peeking around these doors? What other tools are you giving us in these new spaces?
I'm trying to figure out. There's a lot of stuff I don't want to spoil.
There's so much inside you.
But I would say this: we have we're down to a tight corridored. Like a townhouse.
Okay.
Where you're going through, you're stacking up, you're moving up staircases. It's all in spooky night vision. We did crazy stuff with night vision on this game. We're from there all the way out to levels that are really large, where you really decide which way you want to attack the plan, or kind of how you want to complete the objectives. So it goes from really tight and intimate and claustrophobic to huge breaths.
But now you're giving us some different ways as a player character to move around in both these spaces. A little more of the lean, a little more of the...
A little bit, tightening up mechanics as much as we can. When we got back, we started this project, we went into the engine, which is new. It's been in development for nearly 5 years. But it started before we even started on Modern Warfare. But we went back in and we kind of boiled everything down to the basics. I think if we're talking about tighter quarters and we're moving through an environment and we're doing stuff like cornering, we took a hard look at bullet caliber, how that works, frangible ammunition. Frangible ammunition is something that tactical teams like to use in tight corridors so that they don't over-penetrate and hit someone they don't mean to hit on another side of a wall. So you're actually needing to consider this stuff while you're moving through the game. Bullet penetration, caliber, trajectory on your weapons. You actually really have to, if you're firing a DMR or a sniper rifle, you have to really take into account bullet drop in one case, maybe a little bit of windage. We've actually implemented that all in a very realistic way to the game. So what it does is it doesn't make the game harder to play, it just makes it more sophisticated and more fun. There's more to work with, there's more to think about, there's more to challenge you with.
Yeah, you want those close range for those short hallways, you want your long range for outside, and you're kind of, to encourage that gameplay, I guess, giving us a lot more opportunities in the moment.
Yeah,
I'm really excited by peeking.
With all the realistic things you're mentioning, changes to night vision and the depth of the combat sounds a lot different than past titles. How could returning players come to expect it to be faithful to the franchise?
Yeah, I think it's tricky when you're doing something like this, but I think that the players can, I think hopefully the players recognize that there's a lot of original Infinity Ward still at Infinity Ward, and then there's a lot of Infinity Ward that return to Infinity Ward, and then we have all these new people in there. We're very mindful of reimagining Modern Warfare, but not destroying the parts that people love. So we're always checking ourselves and scrutinizing things and making sure that, hey, did we go too far with that? Is that fun? Is there an upside there?
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we respect the series, and it needs to feel like Modern Warfare. Like when you pick it up and you have the controller in your hands, when you're working with this equipment and these weapons and all these game mechanics, it has to be 60 FPS, low latency, the controls have to feel smooth, everything has to be just right. So I hope that, I mean, they'll know when they get it in their hands if we've done our job properly, but I think that hopefully, they all need to know that we're on it and we're making sure that it's right.
I think they know that. I think they know you're committed. But there's a lot of information to cover. We're getting close to the end of this. I think we need to do a lightning round, Lono.
We should,
Yeah, let's
okay.
do a lightning round. So you mentioned new engine. How's that affect the gameplay?
Okay, the new engine affects the gameplay, and we're doing actual real night vision this time. Now, as real as you can make it. In the old days, we used to just run a filter over the screen and play with some colors and stuff. This is actually an IR spectrum that's calculated in the game. So you're dealing with real IR reflectors, the way that things reflect light in night vision. They actually went back with a new engine and researched the history of night vision all the way back to World War II.
That's incredible.
We have incredible atmosphere, almost. What the atmospherics do is they help you read targets in the environment more. So
like distance and...
Yeah, it's actually, if you were to look at an environment with no atmosphere and no fog or anything, it looks very video game clinical.
Yes.
The engine lets us do atmosphere in a new way where we actually can calculate. You can go into a room, fire weapons, cook up the cordite, and the room will start filling with atmosphere. So you get that type of vibe. The engine just lets us do it. This is just like just scratching the surface on how the new engine enhances gameplay and visuals at the same time.
I do want to let you touch on this before we go into launch date. People playing together, you had something really important to say back there.
Well, we did. We have announced crossplay, and it's consoles, and it's Xbox, PlayStation, and PC.
You got everybody on board. All my friends, we can all play together now.
I be very careful when I answer that stuff because there's a lot more details to it that I can't go into. But it's obviously, we're still in pre-alpha, so there's a lot of stuff is in construction right now.
Great. And when can they play it?
We're going to ship on October 25th. I can't wait. We have a lot more to come along the way.
All right, I want to give you one last one. I know people are ravenous for gameplay. When are they going to get to see it? Where can they follow you on social media to be the first in line to see that stuff?
Art Peasant. Art Peasant on Twitter. That's basically where I like to try to talk to people. And I've been going out to Reddit once in a while and I've been accused of being a fake. So
no, he's real, guys. He's real.
Well, they keep telling me I need to put a badge on my name, but it's kind of laughable that I can say something and they're kind of questioning every word I say. So it's kind of fun.
Great. I'm looking forward to playing it. All the realism, the night vision has me, I think, the most interesting. I always like when you do something that takes the immersion up.
Yeah.
So very exciting.
It's I love it. I can't wait for everybody to play it.
All right. There you have it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, October 25th. Be sure to check it out at callofduty.com and keep it here.